The Minneapolis Star reporting ICE agents, thanks to this new ruling, are free now to retaliate against ICE protesters and observers, citizen observers. This means ICE agents, the same people who arrested a 5-year-old and shipped him off to a jail in Texas, those very same ICE agents can use their own discretion now to determine whether a protester or a citizen observer is impeding the work of a federal agent or endangering their lives. This is what the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled. It's up to the individual ICE agent to make the determination as to whether protesters or citizen observers are a physical threat to them. So the courts say we should rely on an ICE agent's judgment. If ICE agents had any judgment, say it along with me, they wouldn't have to be ICE agents. These are not discerning individuals. It's why only ICE hires them. Instead of ICE, they should call themselves the unemployables. This is for people who are all out of options. Why do you become an ICE agent? I have no marketable skills other than being a rageaholic whose wife and kids don't talk to me. So I guess I must have been born to be a UFC fighter, but I'm too fat and lazy, so I should be an ICE agent. So yes, let's allow ICE agents, glorified hoodlums with badges and a gun, let's allow them to use their own judgment on when to use force. Immediately after the injunction was lifted, Border Commander Greg Bovino was caught on video celebrating by tossing some sort of chemical irritant at Minneapolis protesters. Bovino held a press conference in Minneapolis on Tuesday, and I owe this half man an apology. See, I did it again. It's like I keep calling Greg Bovino half a man, and as you can clearly see from this picture, he's actually 6/10 of a man. So my apologies to tiny Greg Bovino, who hates his body, so he takes it out on others. Now, to my sisters in Minneapolis, stop calling Greg Bovino a Nazi. I'm up all night watching your patriotic work that you're doing, and thank you for this. But the women, you got to stop calling Greg Bovino a Nazi. Calling Greg Bovino a Nazi is like calling Greg Bovino Greg Bovino. That's who he is. You say Nazi, and he goes, yes, you want something? Stop calling Greg Bovino a fascist. Ladies, please call Greg Bovino short. The women who get it, it's like a gut punch. Whenever I see a woman protester in Minneapolis calling Greg Bovino short, it's a gut punch. Call him short. That's who he is. This entire administration is predicated on how you look. So make fun of the way these people look. They think we're not going to do it. I've dealt with bullies all my life who they look for what they think you perceive as your own weakness, and then they chew away at it, and they don't think you're going to do it back to them because, I'm a liberal. You know what I say? When they go low, we go lower. Or in Greg Bovino's case, much lower, down to our knees, and look him in the face and say, who's a cute little rageaholic? Who's a cute, you're a good border commander, aren't you, Greg Bovino? Yes, you are. During his press conference, I get complaints about this. You're making fun of short men. No, I'm not. I'm making fun people like Greg Bovino with obvious body dysmorphia who take it out on others. I'm not making fun of short men. I'm making fun of violent men who can't accept who they are. During his press conference, Bovino, I know people get really angry. I've lost listeners because of this. What can I tell you? I want to hurt their feelings. I don't believe in violence. I believe in hurting the feelings of Nazis. They say punch a Nazi. I don't believe in punching a Nazi. I don't believe in violence. But I know how bullies think, and they think we're never going to go where they go when it comes to psychological abuse. Call Greg Bovino short. It'll break him. During his press conference, the very short Greg Bovino said, our operation operations are lawful. They're targeted. That's what he sounds like when I see him. Hang on, I got something here.
Our operation, this is how Greg Bovino talks. Hi, our operations are lawful, they're targeted, and they're focused
on individuals. That's really annoying. He said our operations are lawful, they're targeted, and they're focused on individuals who pose a serious threat to this community. Yes, they're targeting people. ICE is targeting people who pose a serious threat to the Minneapolis community. You know, like a 5-year-old child who had to be separated from his mother and shipped off to an ICE detention facility in Texas. See, Greg Bovino hated this 5-year-old because the kid was already twice Greg Bovino's size and 3 times as literate. During the press conference, Bovino called his agents legal, ethical, and moral. Yes, very moral. Yes, like putting 4 holes into a woman and then, as she lay dying, calling her an effing bitch. You know, just because this Justice Department refuses to prosecute, let alone investigate, that ICE agent who killed Renee Good, it doesn't make his actions legal, ethical, or moral. It just means the people Greg Bovino answers to, just means Greg Bovino himself, they are all acting illegally, unethically, and immorally. Bovino said during his press conference, the crisis in Minneapolis is the fault of protesters. He then blamed Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for creating a difficult operating environment for ICE by encouraging citizens to tail agents who are simply performing their jobs. The Department of Justice, as you know, just issued subpoenas demanding documents from the governor, the mayor, and Minnesota State Attorney General Keith Ellison to determine what extent the 3 of them conspired to impede the work of ICE agents. You mean telling citizens they have a constitutional right to record ICE agents, to protest ICE agents? That's a criminal conspiracy to obey the Constitution? Yes. Keith Ellison, Jacob Frey, Governor Walz, they conspired to impede the important work of ICE agents, like putting 4 holes into a woman and calling her an effing bitch while she lay dying, or throwing this grandmother, Susan Tincher, face first to the ground. Why did they throw her face first to the ground? She asked masked men with no identification a simple question: are you with ICE? So they threw her to the ground, put her in shackles, and detained her in an ICE detention facility. Grandmother, U.S. citizen. Yes, they're just doing their jobs, like dragging this pregnant woman through the streets of Minneapolis after holding her face down and sitting on this woman while she kept telling the agents, I'm pregnant. Look at this. I call them ICE age ICE agents. Me find pretty woman. Me drag her home with me because me all out of roofies. Ah, yes, the important work of our ICE agents, like arresting American citizens with Somali parents and calling these citizens the N-word. And of course, did I mention shipping a 5-year-old boy to a detention facility in Texas away from his mother, his family, and friends because Kristi Noem promises us she's only arresting the worst of the worst. Yes, Greg Bovino, you are absolutely right. You guys are just doing your job. And you know what? You are doing your job because under the leadership of your bosses, you know, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, and of course, Donald Trump, ICE's job is to terrorize Americans. The message is, if we can do this to a grandmother, if we can do this to a 5-year-old child, a disabled veteran, I'll get to that in a second. If we can do it to them, we can do it to you. So watch what you say.